Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Male sexual abuse still underreported. Opposition says better support fund needed to strengthen farming sector. And later in sports, Jamaican athletes to return home after 39th straight Carifta Athletics Championship win. Thank you for joining us. I'm Shamela Pula and here are the details. 4 people, including 2 police officers, are now hospitalized following a motor vehicle accident on the Rio Nueva Main Road in St. Mary. The incident happened around 9:15 this morning. According to reports, a truck was traveling along the Rio Nueva Main Road when it collided with a black Kia motor car that failed to stop. The Kia also crashed into an upcoming Honda Fit driven by a policeman. 2 police officers were injured and taken to hospital where they are undergoing treatment. The driver of the Kia and a passenger were also hospitalized.
Be very careful, man. Very careful. Here's a dangerous spot. And the speed that they're coming with sometimes, it's hard to get out of the way. So both for passengers, drivers, and other people that use the thoroughfare, you have to be very careful.
More boys are being sexually abused than we know, and they're suffering in silence. That's according to the Center for the Investigation of Sexual Offences and Child Abuse, Sissoka. Details in this report. The Center for the Investigation of Sexual Offences and Child Abuse, Sissoka, is sounding the alarm. Sexual abuse against males, especially boys, remains underreported.
We're in the schools, they know where to report. As you said, it's a cultural thing. So people shy away from it because boys, they don't want other boys to know that they were molested, they were buggered. Automatically they feel that they'll be branded as being homosexuals because of the thing. It will carry them throughout school. They might have to change schools because of stigma being attached to them or everybody know talking about them. And a lot of the boys can't withstand that kind of pressure.
In many cases, boys from struggling socioeconomic backgrounds continue to be forced into vulnerable and dangerous situations.
One parent may be able to give their child the name brand things, the school bag, the shoes, enough money to go to school. Another child might be struggling where that is concerned. So that child may want to do something to engage in work afterwards to make some money on the side for themselves, and when they do that, if it is not done in a controlled way, if it is not done in a supervised way, they find themselves in all kind of situations, including sexual exploitation.
Sissoka is urging communities to step up, pay attention, and support these children who are being affected.
We have teachers who are perpetrators, we have doctors who are perpetrators, we have pastors who are perpetrators, we have fathers who are perpetrators, stepfathers, uncles. It's a mix. To tell parents or to tell adults what to look for, it depends on how you are approached and what is being asked of you and how you are being channeled in a particular way.
Superintendent Bailey was speaking on the Force for Good podcast, tackling sexual crimes by the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Meanwhile, Sissoka is reassuring Jamaicans that every report of sexual abuse is taken seriously and fully investigated. The agency is urging anyone who has experienced or witnessed sexual crimes to come forward and make a report.
Every case that is brought to our attention is investigated. File is prepared and brought before the court. For every case that comes to us too, we refer them to counseling. So we also offer that as a part of the process when you come here to us. All reports are treated with confidentially, and all cases will either go directly to the court or to the DPP for advice, depending on its complexity. So all matters are treated with, we turn away nobody, and all cases are treated with the strictest confidentiality.
You can call the Sissoka office at 876-926-4079 or 876-224-5352. Opposition spokesman on agriculture, Dr. Dayton Campbell, says the country's farming sector needs more support to grow and succeed. Dr. Campbell believes farmers deserve better systems and more resources to help them deal with challenges like bad weather and market issues. Karen Simpson reports.
Opposition spokesman on agriculture Dr. Dayton Campbell shared that over 264,000 people are currently involved in farming, but more than 300,000 are still not officially registered. Dr. Campbell says the sector could be in a much better place if the right systems were in place. He is again proposing the establishment of a special agriculture development fund to help farmers when they face problems like bad weather or market issues.
You have a dedicated fund for health, the National Health Fund. You have a dedicated fund for tourism, the Tourism Enhancement Fund. You have dedicated fund for some of the technology-related issues, the Universal Service Fund. And we believe that there needs to be a dedicated fund that is in place to deal with local agriculture, to make it into a priority area. The funding for that, we have earmarked 2% of the current taxes that are paid on imported items.
Speaking at the Montpelier Agriculture and Industrial Show in St. James on Monday, Dr. Campbell reiterated that money already available would be used to create the fund.
From our calculation, over the last 10 years, we have seen where $707 million in taxes have been collected annually. 2% of that will give us roughly 2.5 billion Jamaican dollars. That funding we will use to assist with land preparation so that in the heavy production areas we can have heavy duty equipment, the tractors and the plow to assist our farmers in St. James and the neighboring parishes so that in the heavy production areas they can have that assistance.
Dr. Campbell is also encouraging Jamaicans to support local farmers by buying more locally grown food instead of imported items. He believes that this would make the country stronger and help farmers earn more.
We also need to look at how we assist to build out the storage capacity in the country. Currently, we lose about 30% of what we produce after harvesting, post-harvest loss, because we do not have sufficient storage capacity. And that affects our farmers significantly.
Karen Simpson, TVJ News.
After fire forced the closure of the old shoe market in St. James, efforts are now being made to have the facility reopened. Chairman of the St. James Municipal Corporation, Richard Vernon, says an upgraded facility will be erected at the location. O'Shane Masters reports.
A multi-million-dollar arcade is in the pipeline for Montego Bay St. James. It follows a number of fires which gutted the Montego Bay Shoe Arcade, commonly known as the Old Shoe Market. Chairman of the St. James Municipal Corporation, Richard Vernon, says the new and improved facility is being done in collaboration with the Urban Development Corporation, UDC. Mr. Vernon says the new state-of-the-art facility is a key project for the 2025-26 fiscal year for the corporation.
We actually are due a meeting to look at a proposed design that they sent, and we will be having that meeting shortly so we can go back to the people and business operators of that space to get their intervention and opinion on what we have drafted.
This is another improvement by the corporation, which will aid in ridding the streets of Montego Bay with vendors. Last week, Mr. Vernon noted that the main building of the Charles Gordon Market is expected to reopen to vendors by the end of the second quarter. In the meantime, the corporation chairman says the registration of vendors will be digitized.
To revolutionize vending as opposed to the usual cat and mouse where vendors are concerned. And we're being very meticulous in how we approach it. So we're taking our time to build out a proper and sustainable vending system in the city of Montego Bay. And of course, to get the utmost support where the vendors are concerned, they have to see how it is working for them.
O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
Phase 1 of the Trice Road Rehabilitation Project in St. Anne is completed. Phase 2 is set to begin soon. Karen Simpson reports.
After years of complaints from residents, the long-awaited Trice Road Rehabilitation Project has been completed. Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie said he was propelled to intervene after several visits to the community where he met with residents.
When I came, I was greeted by members of the community. Mixed greetings. Some people expressed their disappointment with the condition of the roads and the lack of proper maintenance or work that has been done on our road network.
Following those visits, he made a commitment to address their concern. Minister McKenzie said he is very pleased with Phase 1 of the $25 million project.
When I turned to come into the community, I was lost because I remember the jigsaw puzzle and the gold mine that I had to traverse on my first visit to come here. And what I drove on this morning is a living testimony to the commitment of the government in responding to community roads.
In the meantime, Mr. McKenzie said Phase 2 is set to begin soon.
As soon as the estimates are completed, the Ministry of Local Government will release the additional $25 million so that the process can commence, so that Phase 2 will be in motion and completed, so that you will have a good independence in Trice.
Karen Simpson, TVJ News.
And Mr. McKenzie says the Brownstone Transportation Center will be getting well-needed attention.
I'm pleased to announce that an amount of $20 million has been allocated, and the first $10 million has been received by the municipal corporation, and the process will commence shortly so that the work can start to repair the transportation center in Brownstone, the car park in Brownstone.
It's time for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. Executive Director of the National Solid Waste Management Authority, Audley Gordon, is reminding Jamaicans to keep public spaces clean. Mr. Gordon says as part of the Pass the Broom campaign, the aim is to increase awareness and participation in waste reduction and proper disposal.
This is an acknowledgement that with our best effort, the 4,000 men and women of the NSWMA cannot on their own keep Jamaica clean if the other 3 million people decide to dirty it up. So we have to get them to be a part of the whole program, to get them to play their part. The good thing is that a high percentage of our people are doing what they're supposed to do.
Mr. Gordon is challenging more stakeholders to come on board.
We know that this is just a small part of the Jamaican family, of the Jamaican setup. We want other players in the private sector to be out too and to show that cleanup is cool. As it's not something that is to be left for others. We all can play our part.
It's now time for the Business Minute.
Innovative energy group IEG is reporting a strong turnaround for the third quarter this year, posting a profit of 99.7 million Jamaican dollars. This is compared to a loss of $4.4 million for IEG alone in the same quarter last year. The boost comes following the completion of its acquisition of subsidiary Innovative Energy Company Limited, IECL, on November 1 last year. The group's year-to-date performance now reflects 4 months of IECL's operations from November through February 2025. Meanwhile, the group's financial position as of February 28 shows $2.5 billion in intangible assets, mainly representing goodwill from the acquisition. And the US growth forecast for this year has been given the biggest downgrade among advanced economies by the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, as a result of uncertainty caused by trade tariffs. Growth is now expected to be 1.8% this year, down from the IMF's estimate of 2.7% for the US in January. The sharp increase in tariffs and uncertainty will lead to a significant slowdown in global growth, the fund projects. Now, the forecast for the UK has also been cut, with the economy now expected to grow by 1.1% this year. For the Business Minute, I'm Shane Masters.
Time now for the top stories from around the world.
In the region, the United Nations Special Representative to Haiti, Maria Isabel Salvador, has warned that the French-speaking CARICOM country is facing the point of no return as gang violence escalates and the state struggles to respond. Addressing the UN Security Council yesterday, Mrs. Salvador said international aid is urgently needed to prevent further collapse and total chaos. As gang violence continues to spread to new parts of the country, Haitians experience growing levels of vulnerability and increasing skepticism about the ability of the state to respond to their needs. On the international scene, Pope Francis's funeral will take place on Saturday at 10 a.m. local time. The Vatican has also released images of the Pope in an open coffin, dressed in a red robe with the papal mitre on his head and a rosary in his hands. He will be taken to St. Peter's Basilica on Wednesday morning, where his casket will remain until burial for the public to pay their respects. And Harvard University has filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration, claiming its freezing of federal grants worth billions of dollars is unlawful. Its president announced the action on Monday in a letter to the university community, which said that the $2 billion funding freeze would hamper critical disease research. And those are the top regional and international stories. I'm Carrie Simpson.
We take another break. Sports is next.